Hi everyone, in this lesson we're going to look at the combined laws of indices, so all of them together in different questions. Let's have a look at this first one. Our question says, express as a single power 3 to the power of 7 multiplied by 3 to the power of 4 divided by 3 to the power of 5. The first thing I'm going to do is tidy up my numerator. So because I have the same base, so the base is 3, and I'm multiplying my powers, I can add the indices together. So 3 to the power of 7 multiplied by 3 to the power of 4 is equal to 3 to the power of 11. So I've just done 7 add 4 to do that. And then I'm dividing this by 3 to the power of 5. When I'm dividing powers that have the same base, I subtract my indices. So I'm going to do 3 to the power of 11, take away 5. And then I'll do 11, subtract 5 to give me 6. So my answer is 3 to the power of 6. Pause the video and give this similar question a go. Okay, let's run through the answer. So 5 to the power of 3 multiplied by 5 to the power of 6. We have the same base on all of them, so we're able to use our laws of indices. When we're multiplying powers that have the same base, we add our indices. So on the numerator, that gives me 5 to the power of 9, and I'm dividing that by 5 to the power of 2, or 5 squared. Again, same base, and we're dividing. When we're dividing powers with the same base, we subtract the indices. That gives me an answer of 5 to the power of 7. Our next example, same idea, expressed as a single power. Here we have 7 to the power of 3, all to the power of 4, divided by 7 to the power of 5, divided by 7. Let's take each part in turn. Let's start with 7 to the power of 3 to the power of 4. Remember, this is our power upon a power rule, and when we have this, we multiply the indices. So this tidies up to be 7 to the power of 12. So I just did 3 multiplied by 4. The reason for that is because 7 to the power of 3, all to the power of 4, simply means 7 to the power of 3 multiplied by itself 4 times. And then we just apply our rule of multiplying powers with the same base, and we would be adding 3 to itself 4 times. So it would be 7 to the power of 3, add 3, add 3, add 3. So just adding up all of these. And of course, we can write repeated addition as multiplication. So instead of 3 add itself 4 times, we just say 3 multiplied by 4. And that's where we get this rule where we multiply that index by the index on the outside to give us our 7 to the power of 12. Okay, so we're dividing this by the result of 7 to the power of 5 divided by 7. Of course, 7 we could write as 7 to the power of 1. And when we're dividing powers with the same base, we subtract our indices. So we'll do 5 take away 1. To give us an answer of 7 to the power of 4. Again, here I'm dividing, and when I'm dividing, I subtract my indices, so this would give me 7 to the power of 8 as my final answer. Pause the video and give this similar question a go. Okay, so let's go through it. 2 squared, all to the power of 9. We've got our power upon a power. We multiply them together. This gives us 2 to the power of 18, and then we're going to multiply by whatever this fraction simplified gives us. Well, I need to subtract the indices because I'm dividing. So that gives me 2 to the power of 1. The last thing I need to do is add my indices because I'm multiplying. So that gives me 2 to the power of 19. For our next example, a little bit trickier this time, we've got some brackets. We need to do what's inside these brackets first. So let's tidy up what's inside the brackets first. 4 to the power of 8 divided by 4 to the power of 5. Well, I subtract my indices because I'm dividing to give me 4 to the power of 3. Then let's tidy up our second bracket. 4 to the power of 6 divided by 4 to the power of 5 is 4 to the power of 1, and I have to remember that that is being squared. Then I'm going to do my power upon a power, so I'll leave this as it is for now, and I'm going to multiply by 4 to the power of 1 squared. Well, I multiply these indices together to give me 4 to the power of 2. And the last thing I can do, I'm multiplying powers with the same base, I add my indices to give me 4 to the power of 5. Pause the video and give this question a go. Okay, so we'll tidy up our first bracket, add our indices to give us 9 to the power of 7. And then we'll tidy up our second bracket, so subtract our indices because we're dividing, and that would give us 9 squared. We have to remember that I am cubing the result of that. Deal with this part, the power upon a power, multiply your indices together. So this is 9 to the power of 7 divided by 9 to the power of 6. And then subtract your indices because we're dividing. So do 7, subtract 6 to give you 1. So 9 to the power of 1, we'll just write that as 9. That's your answer. So our next example introduces some negative indices. We have to be careful to remember that when we're subtracting a negative number, that is equivalent to adding. So just remember that when you're dealing with negatives. Let's deal with this first fraction here, 2 to the power of 10 divided by 2 to the power of negative 3. So remember, I'm subtracting my indices. I'm just going to write out what I'd be doing there. So you'd be doing 10 subtract, not 3, but negative 3. I'm just going to leave that as it is for now. Then I'm going to be dividing by, and I'm going to tidy up this bracket here. If I'm multiplying, I need to add my indices together. 6 add negative 4 is the same as 6 subtract 4 to give me 2. And I need to remember to raise that to the power of 5. Okay, off to the side, 10 subtract negative 3 is equivalent to 10 add 3, which is of course 13. So this is going to be equal to 10 to the power of 13 divided by, let's do our power upon a power. 2 multiplied by 5 is 10, so I get an answer of 2 to the power of 10. Last thing I need to do is subtract my indices, so 13 take away 10 is 3. And my final answer is 2 to the power of 3. Pause the video and give this question a go and look out for your negative numbers. Let's start by tidying up this fraction. So 8 to the power of negative 2 divided by 8 to the power of negative 5. I'm dividing powers with the same base. I subtract my indices. So I would do negative 2 subtract negative 5. Okay, like this. This calculation, negative 2 subtract negative 5, is equivalent to negative 2 add 5, which is equal to 3. This calculation here, of course, we could swap the order as long as we bring the symbol with the digit. So it would be 5 take away 2, and that's equal to 3. Okay, so that's how you do that. So this is 8 to the power of 3. And then we're going to be dividing by, well, let's tidy up this bracket here. Again, I'm dividing inside the bracket, so I'm taking away my indices. I'd be doing negative 2 subtract 4. So negative 2 subtract 4, which gives me an answer of negative 6. So inside this bracket, it tidies up to be 8 to the power of negative 6. And I'm raising that to the power of negative 2. I'll leave this 8 to the power of 3 as it is. And then I'm dividing by 8 to the power of negative 6 all to the power of negative 2. Multiply your indices together. I've got a negative multiplied by a negative, so my result's positive. Negative 6 multiplied by negative 2 is positive 12, like this. All right, from here, I need to subtract my indices. 3 subtract 12. My answer is going to be 8 to the power of 3 subtract 12. Well, 3 subtract 12 is going to be equal to negative 9. So my final answer is 8 to the power of negative 9. Just a reminder, you'll have seen this if you're following along in our lesson booklets. We can write 8 to the power of negative 9 as 1 over 8 to the power of positive 9. Next one says, express as a power of 2, 16 squared. What it means by express as a power of 2 is we want it in the form 2 to the power of n, where n is going to be an integer. And the key to this is to change 16 to a power of 2. So just to write out some of our power of 2's, 2 squared is 4, 2 to the power of 3 is 8, 2 to the power of 4 is 16. And I could keep going, 2 to the power of 5 is 32, and so on. But I know that 2 to the power of 4 is 16. What I can do is I can rewrite this, and instead of writing 16, I'm going to write 2 to the power of 4. But I have to remember I'm doing 16 squared, aren't I? So I'll pop that in a bracket, that's my 16, and I'm squaring it. Then all I do is I apply the law where if I'm raising a power to another power, I multiply the powers together. So I'll do 4 multiplied by 2 to give me 8. This is 2 to the power of 8. Just make sure you always keep the base the same. So I don't want to change the base at this point. The base is 2. Pause the video and give this question a go. So express as a power of 3, 27 to the power of 5. Let's write out some of our powers of 3. So 3 squared is 9. 3 cubed is 27. That's one of those things it's just helpful to know. So I'll rewrite this as, instead of 27, 3 to the power of 3, all to the power of 5, and simply multiply my indices together, giving me an answer of 3 to the power of 15. I just realized I did the colors the wrong way around for these examples, but that's okay. All right, bit of a harder example, bringing everything together in one place. Show that 2 to the power of 6 all to the power of a half, or 0.5 we could say, multiplied by 5 to the power of -1 all to the power of 4, divided by 5 multiplied by 5 to the power of -8 is equal to 1,000. So this is a show that question. I need to show each line of my working out. Let's start off by just applying our laws of indices as far as we can and see where that gets us. So let's do 6 multiplied by a half. Well, that gets me to 3. So this simplifies to 2 to the power of 3. This fraction, I'll do it in a few steps. So I'll just tidy up my numerator and I'll tidy up my denominator. So 5 to the power of -1 all to the power of 4 is 5 to the power of -4. I just did -1 multiplied by 4. So that's the numerator tidied up. And then just remember that 5 is 5 to the power of 1, and I'm multiplying it by 5 to the power of -8. And because we're multiplying, we add our indices. So I'm effectively doing 1 add -8. Well, that's just equal to 1 subtract 8, which is equal to -7. So that's what the denominator tidies up to be, 5 to the power of -7. And we want to show that this is equal to 1,000. Okay, let's tidy up this fraction here. I'll leave my 2 to the power of 3 for now. And I'm dividing powers with the same base, so I need to subtract my indices. Bit of a harder negative number calculation. I'm doing -4 and I'm subtracting -7. Well, remember that's equivalent to doing -4 add 7, which is equivalent to doing 7 take away 4. Just have to be careful. I brought the symbol in front of the 7 with me. Okay, of course we don't write it in, but I did, and I just swapped the order of them, and that's okay. I can do that. Just have to be careful when I do it. 7 take away 4 is 3. So this tidies up to be 5 to the power of 3. Now from here, what we can do is even if we have different bases, which we do in this case, 2 and 5, if we have the same index, what we can do is we can rewrite this calculation as 2 multiplied by 5 all to the power of 3. Okay. And just to show you why that's the case, if I had 2 to the power of 3 multiplied by 5 to the power of 3, what I've really got is 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2, and 5 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 5. And what I can do is I can change the order of this multiplication and pair them up. I can do 2 multiplied by 5, let's got rid of these two, and then do that again, 2 multiplied by 5, and then do it a last time. And if you notice, what I've got here is I've got 2 times 5, 3 times. So 2 times 5, so 2 multiplied by 5 all to the power of 3, which is why we can say that this is equal to this. Okay, which is where I get this line from here. Of course, I can then go and do the bracket. 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. So I've got 10 to the power of 3. And 10 to the power of 3 is 10 multiplied by 10 multiplied by 10, or 1,000. And the index tells me how many zeros there are. So I have shown that the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side, so I've done my answer clearly there. Okay, pause the video and give this trickier one a go. Okay, so lots going on in these examples, and I think that's good because it teaches us to just do one thing at a time and work our way through slowly. Let's deal with this first bit. So 10 to the -5 all to the power of -3. Simply multiply your indices together. -5 multiplied by -3 is positive 15. Okay, I'm going to leave this bit as it is for now. So 10 to the 13. And then I'm going to deal with this bit. So I'm multiplying by 10 over 7 all to the power of -2. Remember, when we see a negative in our index, that tells us we need to take the reciprocal. So this power is equivalent to 7 over 10 all to the power of +2. So notice what I've done there. I've just flipped this fraction. I've taken the reciprocal and I've changed the index from a negative number to a positive number. 7 to the power of -1 is equal to 1 over 7. So why is that the case? Well, think of 7 as being 7 over 1. And if I raise it to the power of -1, well, remember the negative means I take the reciprocal. So this is equal to 1 over 7 to the power of 1. And of course, that's equivalent to 1 over 7 to the power of 1 and just 1 over 7. So that's the long way to explain it. But nice and simple. If you see -1, it just means take the reciprocal. So that's why it's 1 over 7. From here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tidy up my tens. So 10 to the power of 15 divided by 10 to the power of 13 is 10 to the power of 2. I've simply just subtracted my indices there. And then I'm going to deal with this fraction 7 over 10 all to the power of 2. I have to apply this power of 2 to the 7 and the 100. So this would give me 7 squared multiplied by 1 over 7. From here, I want to do some cross simplifying. Let's rewrite 10 squared as a fraction, 10 squared over 1. And what I can see is I can divide through by common factors that are common to both the numerator and the denominator. There is a 10 squared on the numerator, so I can divide through by that, and also divide through by it here on the denominator, like this. Okay, just so we don't do too much cross simplifying, I now have 1 over 1, so that's just 1, I don't need to write that. And this fraction, I've got 7 squared over 1, so that's just that numerator over that denominator, multiplied by 1 over 7. And again, I can do a bit of cross simplifying. If you can spot it, I can divide through by 7 to give me 7, and I can divide through by a 7 down here to give me 1. So now what I'm left with is 7 over 1 multiplied by 1 over 1, which is just 1, of course. 7 over 1 is 7, multiplied by 1 it doesn't change anything. My answer is 7. So I've shown that the left-hand side is equal to the right-hand side. Well done if you got that. That's a tricky question. If you're using our lesson booklets, please now complete exercises 1 to 4. Thank you for watching this video.